Let's learn an epic pirate riff together, shall we? Have a listen. That was my original composition, We Were Pirates, and today I'm gonna teach you that epic opening main riff, and I'm gonna highlight two specific techniques that you can use to clean up your playing and give it some extra punch. So grab your guitar, follow along, and let's get started. We're starting with this strong E minor power chord that you're just gonna down strum, and then the melody comes in. That pull off from the second fret to open E, make sure that's really snappy. So with your pull off, you're always pushing in while you're pulling down to give it that snap. Then we end with an up strum on that same E minor. Now, the first technique that I want to highlight here is muting. One of the hallmarks of a great guitarist is how they use and control and manipulate silence. A beginner player is going to default to awkward, uncontrolled silences between notes just because their playing is choppy, not legato and connected like we typically want to default to. But an experienced player, a virtuoso, can use silence intentionally for effect. So like in this case, on this powerful power chord, right at the beginning, I'm gonna use some intentional muting to stop the chord right after I strum it, making it very choppy, disconnected, staccato. And it just gives it that little extra oomph, right? A little punch. Now, how am I doing this? There's a couple different methods for how we can use strategic muting in our playing. Here, I'm using free fingers in my fretting hand, fingers that I'm not currently using to rest on the strings, block them, thus muting them and stopping them from ringing out. So I'll strum, and then with my second and third fingers, I'll just lightly rest them on the strings. So practice getting that first beat, that strum, really short and punchy before you come in with the melody right after. Now continuing on to measure 2, we ended with an up strum in measure 1 and start measure 2 immediately with another down strum. And then the melody comes right back in, the same melody, but here instead we're gonna come up to the 3rd fret of the high E and then the 2nd fret. Now here's another example of how we can use this strategic muting to manipulate the groove and rhythm of your playing and add some punchy articulation. So when the melody comes in here in measure 2, I like the punchy bounce that it gives the melody when we play staccato, short and disconnected with this intentional muting on this high G toward the end of the measure before resolving down to that F sharp at the 2nd fret. Here we're using a different technique for this strategic muting, specifically using a finger of the plucking hand to mute the string. So when I play this G at the 3rd fret of the high E string that we want to be short and disconnected, I pluck it with my M finger and then immediately plant my next finger, my I finger in this case, on the string. And then it's ready to pluck that 2nd fret. But not only is it preparing us for what's coming next, it functions as a mute for that note that we want to be short and punchy. Measure 3, we're playing what we played in measure 1 minus that last little strum at the end of the measure. And then in measure 4, we have this cool arpeggio pattern. Starting with a G major chord, then a D major, a B minor, and then another voicing of D major. So I'm gonna go 2nd finger, 1st and 2nd fingers, 1st, 3rd, and 2nd fingers, and then my 2nd finger can stay where it is and reach the 4th finger. And when you're transitioning quickly between these chords, trying to work this up to speed, it's important to remember with chord transitions like this where we're playing them as arpeggios, meaning we're playing the notes in sequence, not at the same time, you can remember this concept, prioritization. What that means is you're going to prioritize your fingers and place them in the order that they appear. So here, 2nd finger, when I move to this D chord, I only need my 1st finger down right away. I have time to add that 2nd finger right after. This becomes really important when we're working up to speed. Every second counts, so I don't have to wait until I get both fingers ready to go and always feel like I'm late because I can't position them in time. Start just with your 1st, then add the 2nd. With the next chord, 1st, then the 3rd, then the 2nd, right? You're building the chord 1 finger at a time. Then hold the 2nd finger and then you have time to reach the 4th. This is where I want to highlight the 2nd technique today, planting. For ascending arpeggios like this, when your thumb plays, you're going to simultaneously plant all your other fingers that are about to play on their strings so that they're already prepared and ready to go. So for our first arpeggio, I'm playing thumb, index, and ring, or we call that P, I, and A. So when my P, my thumb plays, I and A instantly, simultaneously plant on their designated strings. When I go to the next chord, same thing, P and then I and A plant simultaneously. Then we've got P, I, and M. So as soon as thumb plays, I and M plant. And then we have P, M, and A. So when thumb plays, M and A plant. Planting makes your arpeggios faster and cleaner because your fingers are always prepared for what's coming next, and you're training your fingers to get on the strings quickly and accurately. And that's the riff. Have fun with this. Practice the strategic muting and practice planting, and your playing is going to get more elevated. You're gonna have levels of depth because you're playing with silence, manipulating and controlling silence, and your arpeggios are gonna be cleaner, faster, and punchier than ever. If you wanna learn this entire piece as you heard it played at the beginning of this video, then sign up for my free We Were Pirates Masterclass. I'm gonna walk you through the entire piece, measure by measure, and then I'm gonna be highlighting more techniques like we did today along the way that will improve your playing and your technique overall. This masterclass is completely free, no strings attached. So sign up, learn a really fun piece, and let me help you improve your technique. Link to signups down below. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, if this helped you in any way, leave a like. That helps me a ton, and I'll see you in the next one.